Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of Living Safe and Empowered. I'm your host, Brett Lechtenberg, and I am the anti-bullying expert who will help you get rid of your bullying problems in 3 days or less. Now this week I want to talk kind of a follow-up about how to get your kids to report a bullying problem properly. When kids are under stress, just like when adults are under stress, with the adrenaline and the emotions that are running through a situation, they have a hard time recalling the accounts of an incident and being able to report it to their parents or maybe their teacher if something's happening at school or wherever. And that's why we talked about stress reduction last week. And this week I want to talk to you about the 5 W's. How to get your kids to report the who, what, where, when, and why, the details to you as the parent or to their teacher or principal if they have a bullying situation, right? And a lot of people overlook this point. They just think their kids will be able to remember when that is just a foolish reality and kids generally will not. And so here's the thing to do. Create a fun way to put your child under some stress and then cue them or quiz them on what it is that they have experienced. Now here's the easiest way that I found that works really well for whatever you want to teach them that's potentially a little bit scary. Create an obstacle course, right, that can be in your yard, at the local park, somewhere. It could even be inside your house. And in that obstacle course, you're going to time it so that your kids have a small amount of time to be able to complete it. And in there, you're going to place different things that they're going to have to remember and report back to you when they complete the obstacle course. Now it's very important that the obstacle course is big enough, long enough, and under a short enough duration of time that it causes them to have to run, and that will drive up their heart rate, it will drive up their respiratory rate, and it will cause an adrenaline dump into their system that will simulate other types of stress. So when they do that, they run quickly, they go through the obstacle course, and they're going to pick out items of things that you have placed in the course. So let's walk through that just a little bit. Take your child outside if you have a big enough yard, maybe take them to the park, whatever. Around the park, you're going to create scenarios where they have to crawl over things, go under things, go around things, maybe climb a tree, not too high of course. Whatever the case is, based on your child's ability, age level, physical ability, that kind of thing. And you're going to walk them through the course and tell them what they need to do. Explain it in great detail, right? Then take them back to the starting point and turn them around so they can't see the course and they can't cheat. And explain to them that they're going to have, say, 1 minute to complete the course, get around that, and then find the things that you're going to place on the obstacle course for them to remember. Tell them it's like an Easter egg hunt. Kids love Easter egg hunts. All right, so when your child's not watching, you're going to go through, you're going to place items, you're going to change things, you're going to put whatever you want out there that can make the obstacle course fun and give them a challenge. To tell them not to pick the things up, just to remember what they are. All right? So then you've done this, turn them around, don't give them a chance to look, just tell them go and follow through the obstacle course and what you've laid out. When they get back to you, after maybe the minute or 2 minutes, 3 minutes that it takes to complete the course, make sure they face away from the course. They're facing you. Have them practice that stress reduction technique that we talked about last week. Give them about a minute for that, and then quiz them and ask them, what did you see? How many ping pong balls were on the chair? What was the name of the sports team? What was the logo that was on the hat that was hanging from the tree? What color was the crayon that was underneath the tree? Whatever it is, you can come up with some really creative stuff. And ask them to report back those things. What you're doing is creating in your child's mind the ability to be under stress, but be cognizant of what they're doing, and then practicing and they're reporting back to you of what happened. This is something that we use when we teach kids about fire safety, how to escape a house. We teach them about stranger awareness, other things like that. We use a very similar principle, and it can be used very effectively and very easily with bullying. All right, so think about that. Now, here's the big caveat to this and the thing that you should not do. Don't make it scary and super hard right off the bat. The biggest mistake that people, parents, trainers make is they make it so hard and so over the top right off the bat that they just cause their child to become too scared and close down and shut down. And that's not what you want. So don't do that. You build people up into things. People will rise to their level of expectation, but they will fall to their level of training. And training them inappropriately will cause them to have serious hesitations, all right, and what we call reactionary gaps. And I'll talk about that later. Just try this. In about 90 minutes, you'll be so amazed at the things that you'll be able to get your children to accomplish, the bonding experience that you'll create with your child, and the ability to teach them how to deal with stress and report a problem. So that if they do have that problem at school or daycare or somewhere else, they'll be able to go and give that teacher, a principal, playground aide, worker, whatever, the who, what, where, when, and hopefully the why of what was going on with that bully. So if you have time to do that over the next week, let me know how it goes, but definitely make time to train your children on that, and you will be amazed again at what exactly they find out, or what exactly they'll be able to report back to you. And that's really going to help open those lines of communication. Okay, that being said, now I want to talk a little bit about in the news. Last week we talked about specifically about a bullying situation in the news. This time I want to talk about the unfortunate incident that happened in Marysville, Washington, the shooting situation at the school. And I just want to caution everybody about what you hear, what you see, what you read. All these reports are going to come out over the first 2 weeks, and most of that information is going to have some accuracy to it, but there's going to be a huge chunk that's absolutely inaccurate. Anytime there's a situation like this, which was called an active shooter situation, if you're unfamiliar with the term, it just means when you have an intruder in a public place and they start shooting and trying to kill people. That's an active shooter situation. There's always a flood of bad information that comes in with the good. You have to be very careful about what you listen to, about what you read, and take everything with a grain of salt. And I'm sure they're going to try, and at some point, media is going to try and link this unfortunate situation to bullying and other things because it happened at a school. You know, the initial stuff I saw said that this young man was respected and a prom king prince and other things. So all I'm saying is be leery when you watch these situations. There are plenty of ways that we can work and train and help our kids with these situations in the schools. But for right now, I just want to educate you on being very leery about what you watch and what you read and taking all with a grain of salt. We'll follow up on this story in future episodes. So anyway, that's this week's episode of Living Safe and Empowered. I'm your host, Brett Lechtenberg. Do me a favor, click the link below that you'll see below this video. Get yourself a copy of my free report on bullying and how parents can report a bullying problem. And pass this along. Share this video and all the videos from our program to anybody that you think can use them and get some benefit from this. And we're really trying to reach out and make a positive impact and make the world a safer place. So until next time, live a safe and empowered day.